Welcome to Innerji, Tarot Tea Astrology, Numerology, and all things metaphysical. I'm Innerji, the metaphysical crone, and I am here today to talk about the new moon in Pisces, which goes exact at 8 p.m. That's on the 10th of March, which is a Sunday, and that's Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So if you're in another part of the world and you want to know the exact moment that the new moon occurs, then just check out the local times for your area. So let's take a look at the chart and talk a little bit about this new moon in Pisces and what it might mean for you. So as you can see on the chart, we have the moon and the sun next to each other, and they are as close as they can be. In astrological terms, this is a conjunction when they are next to each other, and it's exact. In other words, they have the same degrees in the sky. The sun is 20 degrees 16 minutes, and the moon 20 degrees 16 minutes. They are both in Pisces. And when they are together in the sky, that is what creates the new moon energy. Now, the new moon in Pisces, but with both the sun and the moon in Pisces, we've got almost double the energy of Pisces, which is mutable water. So it's all about our emotions. It's all about our imagination. It's all about letting go of boundaries. The issue is that sometimes we can let go of boundaries so much that it can become confusing for us and decisions can be hard to make. So with this new moon in Pisces, be aware of this additional energy. Also, we have 4 planets in Pisces. We have Neptune, which is the modern ruler of Pisces. The traditional ruler is Jupiter, which is an expansive energy. The sun and moon in Pisces. And we also have Saturn in Pisces as well. And Saturn's the responsible one. It brings in a little bit of restriction. So there is a lot of Pisces energy in the sky with this new moon in Pisces. Now, what does that mean for you? It means that you can become quite ungrounded. Now, the good news about that is that we are in numerologically a number 4 day. When we add up the day, the 10th, the month, number 3 for March, and the year 2024, and reduce those numbers down, it comes down to the number 4. So this brings in a bit of grounding. It brings in a bit of stability. Think of 4 legs on a table, holding the table up, making it stable. So that is going to reduce that just a little bit for the 10th of March. So if you're doing anything with that new moon energy, then you make sure that you are grounded. Make sure that you've got your feet on the earth. Now, the other thing about this is that with this new moon in Pisces, you can be a little bit more easily influenced because we have the energy of mutable water. Mutable means highly flexible, highly adaptable, and water is a flowing energy, a flowing element. When we think about it, think of flowing rivers. And so what I see here with this mutability of the mutable water that is Pisces, I see that making decisions can be hard. It can be hard to get down into the nitty-gritty of life. So make sure that you're grounded, as I've said before. It's also a great time, though, for your imagination. It's a great time to dream. So if you want to set new intentions for this new moon in Pisces, this is a wonderful time to do that, using your imagination, using your dreams. The other thing I wanted to say about this new moon is that if you're looking to start a new project, now is the time to do a vision board or envision it in your mind's eye before you actually start taking action. The other thing I want to say about this is that we also have the moon sextile. There's the little symbol for sextile there, Jupiter. And Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces. So we have another connection here. So when you're dreaming, this is about dreaming big. This is about being generous with setting your intentions, what it is that you want to manifest. The other thing we have is the sun is sextile Jupiter as well. And so that's about bringing in new opportunities. When we have a sextile, it's harmonious. It opens new opportunities and it brings in positive things. So the positives kind of balance out the negatives when we are looking at this new moon in Pisces. So now let's take a look at some of the tools that you can use for this new moon in Pisces. Let's take a look at some essential oils. So as you can see, I have set up my essential oils that I want to use for this new moon in Pisces, and I'm going to be creating a blend of these 4 oils that I will use in my oil burner or my oil diffuser. I can use when I'm either meditating on the new moon or using the oils to set intentions for the new moon in Pisces. Whatever it is, you can be really versatile in how you use them. So let's have a look. Let's start off with some jasmine. Jasmine is a beautiful, sweet, soft, feminine oil. It's a wonderful oil to use for any full moon. I particularly like this oil for the new moon in Pisces because it also stimulates the imagination. It frees the imagination and it promotes creativity, and it brings out the artistry. And when we're being imaginative, we're bringing out the artistry of manifesting, of creating, setting intentions. So I'm going to put 3 drops of jasmine into my amethyst mixing bowl. 1, 2, and 3. You don't need to use very much. Less is more when it comes to essential oils. Now, the other oil I want to use is cedarwood. Cedarwood is a wonderful oil because it connects to both the base chakra, which is grounding and earthing, but it also connects to the crown chakra, which is our connection to the universe, the source of all. So I want to put in a couple of drops of cedarwood oil as well. That's 1, 2. Cedarwood is one of my favorite oils to use. And then because our emotions can get a little bit topsy-turvy, a bit out of balance when it comes to this new moon in Pisces, when we're looking at it from the extreme negative side, if you like, then that's where beautiful rose geranium can come into play. Rose geranium is known as the balancer of emotions as well as balancing hormones. It's kind of known as the women's oil, and because this is a strong aroma, I'm only going to put in 1 drop. Sometimes we have to encourage the oils to come out. There we go. And finally, I'm going to put in a little bit of lemon oil. Lemon is fabulous for focus, clarity, and concentration. And when we're setting our intentions, we need our focus, we need clarity to be able to use our imagination and to dream those intentions and to bring them really into our left brain logical thinking as well. And that's what the lemon oil is good for. Lemon is also an oil that is associated with the moon in general. So I'm going to put 2 drops of lemon oil into the mix. Here we go. And I'm going to use my beautiful amethyst intention spoon. And I am going to, as I stir and mix the oils, I am going to set my intention of what I am dreaming of, what I am imagining, what intentions I want to set for this new moon in Pisces. Another way you can do this is to prepare the oil beforehand and use the oil in your essential oil diffuser to meditate, to imagine, and use the aroma of the oil to help you setting the intention and to use your imagination to come up with what your intentions might be. So let's have a little sniff of that. And that is a beautiful, soft, gentle combination. So very simply, you can create your own essential oil blend for the new moon in Pisces. I used 2 drops of cedarwood, 1 drop of geranium, 2 drops of jasmine, and 2 drops of lemon. Now let's take a look at some crystals that might be helpful for this new moon in Pisces. So I've chosen 3 crystals for this new moon in Pisces. First one I've chosen is beautiful selenite. This is a selenite palm stone. The back is plain, and on the front I have all of the phases of the moon. They're engraved there. I'll bring it closer. You can see that. And there's also a pentacle. And the pentacle is known as symbol of protection. It's known as a symbol of the 5 senses as well. It's also a symbol of the 4 elements: fire, air, earth, and water, and of course, spirit energy or ether. Selenite is a wonderful crystal to use for any moon phase because it is a high vibration. It is a feminine stone. In other words, it has a passive polarity, it has a negative polarity. It's also such a high vibration stone that you can use it for connecting to not only your spirit guides, but also for connection to angels. So I love this for connecting to goddess energy with the moon. And so for this new moon, I love the idea of selenite. It also brings in that silvery sense of moonlight as well. The other stone that I've chosen, because it is specifically the new moon, is black moonstone. Now, as you can see, black moonstone isn't completely black. It actually looks like a very dark sky, a stormy sky. But with this black moonstone, because we don't really see much of the moon, if at all, when it's absolutely on that 0 degrees of the moon and sun conjunct, then this is appropriate because this black moonstone is looking at, how can I put this? Almost like the darker side of the moon. And I don't mean darker side as in bad or awful, but the more internal side of the moon, because we can't see it. And with this new moon in Pisces, this is a great time to look within deeply, hence choosing black moonstone. The other crystal that I have chosen for this new moon in Pisces is aquamarine. This is a raw piece of aquamarine. And aquamarine is known to be the associated crystal, or one of them, for the sign of Pisces. Aquamarine, it is a watery crystal. It is also a crystal for courage as well, for standing up, but having courage that's more gentle and flowing rather than warrior-like. So aquamarine is another wonderful crystal that you can use for the new moon in Pisces to connect to your emotions, to connect to that water element and that mutability, that changeability that makes up Pisces. How can you use these stones? You can use them combined with clear quartz to make a crystal grid. So let's do that now. When you're creating crystal grids, they don't have to be overly complex or difficult. You can use just a few crystals to create that energy and connection for your intention. So for this crystal grid for the new moon in Pisces, I am using a selenite charging plate. As you can see, I have a crescent moon and I have this beautiful flower expanding out. So I love using this as my base for any crystal grids that I use. So what I'm going to begin with is I'm actually going to place at the top of my grid, I'm going to place my selenite palm stone with my pentagram, or pentacle I should say, and all the phases of the moon. Below that, I am going to place my black moonstone to represent this new moon in Pisces. I'm then going to bring in my beautiful aquamarine, and I'm going to place the aquamarine over the black moonstone. So I want to connect that stone of imagination, that watery energy, directly with the new moon. And then I want to link these up. So I've got some clear quartz. I like to use clear quartz because it amplifies the energy of any crystal grid. So I just want to put a couple with the points coming out from the selenite. And then the other two, I'm going to bring in with the points coming into the black moonstone and the aquamarine. And then I'm going to bring in, this is called a transmitter and channeling crystal. It does both. So what it will do is it will send your intentions, your dreams, for your intentions for the new moon out into the universe, but it will also channel in the energy for manifestation. And so I'm going to place that here at the base. And I'm actually going to place it this way. So it's kind of, we're bringing energy in and we are sending energy out. And of course, when you're creating a grid, you might just have to rearrange it because we haven't linked up any of the crystals yet, which is what we're about to do now. So there is my setup. And so what I like to do now is just sit quietly. This would be a good time for you to put your essential oil blend in your oil burner and have that burning in the background or diffusing in the background as you inhale the aromas and you set your intention. And I'm using a selenite chakra wand with amethyst at the top. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over and down, and I'm going to just breathe slowly and tune in. And I'm tuning into the energy of the source, whatever name you like to use, goddess, God, if you have a particular deity that you work with. And I just draw down that energy from the universe and I bring it down into the selenite palm stone. And I visualize that energy while I'm thinking about my intention of what new thing I want to bring in terms of my emotional well-being, my emotional awareness, what it is I want to manifest through my heart space. And then I slowly and gently draw that energy down into the aquamarine and into the black moonstone, visualizing that energy of intention, that energy from the source. And then I bring it down to the transmitter channeling crystal. And whilst I'm doing this, I'm focusing my intention on sending my wish, my manifestation out into the universe and drawing in that manifestation into physical reality. Then I come back to the top again, and now I want to link the clear quartz. So I link this intention of the universe coming through the little clear quartz points and coming down into the aquamarine and the black moonstone, coming down into that transmitting channeling crystal again. Then I come back to the beginning and I come back to the palm stone and I take that energy and I see it flowing down through these quartz crystals, back into the moonstone and aquamarine, down into the channeling crystal. And so I see that the energy is linked and moving and that the crystal grid is now charged. And you can leave this crystal grid set up a few days before. Usually the energy of the new or any moon phase lasts for a few days, 2 to 3 days. And so you can just visualize that energy, this activated grid, being a physical manifestation of bringing in your intention for the new moon in Pisces, whilst you inhale the beautiful essential oil blend that we created a little bit earlier. I do hope you found this little exploration of the new moon in Pisces and how to use some essential oils and crystals to help you with your rituals or setting intentions, new beginnings for this new moon in Pisces. I really hope that you found that to be helpful. I'd love to hear what you do. So make sure you put in the comments what you've been doing, what crystals you've been using, what essential oils you've been using for this new moon in Pisces, because there are so many choices that you can make. What I've shown you in this video is just a couple of ways that you can work with crystals, essential oils, and understanding the astrology of the new moon in Pisces. Until next time, many blessings to you.